into a science, commerce, and an humanities stream on the basis of their academic performances and not on any other interests. In fact, I still remember, I would think that if I'm liking science and I'm maths, then I must go into engineering without even thinking of any other stream that I could go for. So we are in the world of choices now. Students have a lot of choice. Uh, but at the same time, it is insane. We experience it. I experience it each day. That even the reports support that 1 in 3 students are unhappy with their course, and they picked up, which is nearly 500,000 dissatisfied university students. Whereas students these days have loads of options. Despite that, we see the level of dissatisfaction in them. Hence, choosing a subject in itself has become a major decision of our life. So that's what we want to discuss it today, that what is the right way of deciding our career when we have a lot of options available, so that we do not fickle on later, we do not keep dropping our courses, we do not waste time, and the best thing is what we do should come out of our interest and we should love. So we should have a passion towards our profession. So that's where we have some of the very important people on our panel today. Each day we have been taking their help in our lives. All of us have our teachers, we have parents, we have the school leaders who help us in making these choices. So a very warm welcome to all our panelists today. We have Dr. Seema Sharma. She's a senior clinical psychologist and she's conducted various workshops for schools like Doon School, Dehradun, the Lawrence, IIT Roorkee, BHU, etc. So, which is not just limited to the schools, it goes to the colleges and the postgraduate courses too. I welcome you, Dr. Seema. Uh, we have Ms. Priyanka Mehta, one of the leaders of the schools. She's the principal of Sarvotam School. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am. I welcome Shama Mathur. She's a very senior teacher with Rayan International School. Each day people would be coming to you too for loads of guidances. I welcome you, ma'am. I welcome Ms. Varmala Rathore. She's an ex-principal and a very senior teacher. Almost half of her life she must have given in counseling and guiding the students. I welcome you, ma'am. We have one of the parent, an educated and a smart parent. Yes, so we wanted to have her views on the panel. So thank you so much for giving the time, Sakshi. We welcome you on the panel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Parul. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
It's our pleasure. So without wasting time, I'm sure a lot of our audience are looking forward to hear from you. So I would have my first question raising to the principal, Ms. Priyanka, because that's where the story would start from. Ma'am, what are your views? What do you think? What are the challenges you face when the students or the parents start deciding their streams after class 10th?
Thank you, Parul, and very good evening to everyone on panel here. And of course, all the parents and children who are listening to us. Very important question, very important topic, and I think it makes most sense that we are talking about it. The importance of careers and importance of choosing the right subject has been has taken advantage over any other thing that we discuss when children come to an age of class 7, 8, I would say. And the thing that makes it more important is that we are in a world where a lot of competence is required as far as skills are concerned. See, education must be seen in one perspective as a basis for employability in future. So it may not be the only goal, although I personally feel, but a lot of the reasons that are related to being educated are connected with how we're going to lead our lives from here on. So it's very important that we understand what are our priorities and how are we going to go ahead from here. What is the roadmap that children have once they pass on, pass out of school? Now, what happens is that when a child gets into school and spends 12 years, 15 years there, 12 years of formal schooling and 3 years roughly of the pre-primary, if we add that, we understand it's a very protected environment. The world belongs to the children there in those four walls or the boundaries of the school. They kind of think that's the world that is going to be existing outside, but it's not true. Once the children have to move out of school, they become one in many. So it's not only, you see, guidance. When I say, I don't call it career kind of a program, I call it guidance and counseling, because it has to go side by side. You may not be choosing a career right after. Well, you may be looking at higher education. You may be looking at mapping is required. I feel children need to be first aware. For any decision that you take, you need to have information. Now, that information has to come from the right topic. You may be talking to 10 people. Now, I meet people, I meet parents, they have done their graduation in science, have landed up in marketing, and vice versa. So, and
Yes.
the reasons could be many. The reasons may not be a choice, something that the parent did not, the person did not have control over. There could be factors where you don't have control. And sometimes you have to take decisions which are not planned. The most important part here is that you need to have information. Now, in the recent years, the role of information has become very important because there is a lot of information around now. So when there is a lot of information, the responsibility of choosing the correct one comes to the school. And therefore, the role of the counselor comes in, the role of the teachers come in. I don't say that, it's only the counselor whose responsibility is to give that kind of information. I think it has to come in the system of the school. So you don't wait for children to come to class 10 to tell them, okay, now I understand you and now you can take this because you get a certain number of marks.
Right.
Not the way we need to get education from here. With the new education policy coming in, I think we're going to open up a plethora of avenues where children can choose from now. So, handling information to be provided to children to take the right decision regarding their careers, plan A, plan B, plan C, what all they want to do. Sometimes a child feels I'm made for science. The moment you start studying science, you think I can't do it anymore. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's right. Yeah.
So what do you do next? So that entire role is filled up, that entire gap is filled up by your set of teachers who are in a multiple role as a teacher and a counselor, or your department of counseling and guidance that is there in the school, which takes it on. The questions that most of the children ask, which I think over the years have not changed. I want to take this, my parents don't want me to take this. That is number one.
Yeah.
Right? Number two, I want to do this, but I don't know where to find information from. That's number two.
Yeah.
Number three, I want to do this. I'm not confident if I'm able to do it. I will be able to do it or not. So who tells me if I'm made for it or not? I'm not even talking about myself. So these three basic questions have never changed all these years. And I think they form the basis of all the focus that we have as leaders, where teachers start talking to children and parents start talking to us, and we have all those test batteries in place where we start picking them up early and we start to profile the child to tell the child how to go ahead from here. So that's how I think is we're looking at children these days, and with so much of information around, it's very important that they don't get confused. they're able to focus on their skills. They're able to focus on what is available at hand. Even in class 10, there'll be 2 years of challenge ahead before they actually step out. And 2 years can make a lot of change.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've really put it in the right words, ma'am. I'm sure all the parents and teachers who are listening here, they would put themselves in these shoes that yes, they also face the same thing. We as a parent have gone through the same stage. So you've really put it very well. Thank you so much, ma'am. My question to Ms. Sharma, ma'am, typically, like even taking it forward from what Ms. Priyanka has said, what is the typical process that your school follows in while allocating the streams? If you could just throw some light on that.
Yeah, sure, Parul. Thank you for the question. Parul, there is, you will say, a variety of approaches we generally follow and variety of policies also. But to name a few is majorly the child's interest in a particular stream and his performance so far in the field of his choice, and obviously his inclination. But I would say that choosing the right stream after a thorough evaluation is a very, very important factor, because every stream deals with a different arena of knowledge. And the key areas to decide the stream is, as I told you, generally the interest of the child, the performance of the child so far, how he has performed in a particular field, and obviously the scope of the field and the remunerations what he will get. So there are varieties of approaches and policies, and they vary from child to child. This is what we follow in our school. And obviously, when finally we are not able to do justice with the child, we definitely guide them towards the counselings. And we have invited many counseling organizations like yours one, EDU-Wiki type. We have invited many such organizations in our school to correctly guide the child so that he can take the correct stream and he can work well there. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, very true. Yeah. So you've actually opened up new points for me to be discussed.
Parul, you're on mute.
Mute.
Sorry. When Mala ma'am, Shama ma'am has raised a very important point to say that a lot of students also go based on what kind of a remuneration will a career give them to, or what kind of an interest would that be. So in your entire life, you've left with so many students. Do you really think that students are clear on what career, which remuneration they would be getting into, what kind of real professional career they'll get into after taking these courses? How much information do you think they would be having? We can't hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, you want me to repeat the question? Yeah, so we were saying that Shama was talking about the, one of the parameters of choosing a career would be what remuneration will they be getting after doing this, or based on their interest. So, what do you think? How much are the students aware about what course will fetch them what salaries? Or, do they really know about their interest? So, where do they land up then?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So, a very warm welcome to all of you. The question is pertinent. To the best of my understanding, the adolescent years are the most impressionable years. So, more often than not, these children have two things very much in common, and which become the guiding points, so to say, towards choosing or say working, arranging or organizing their efforts towards. One is that they want a lot of fame, they want to be known, and secondly, they want to earn a lot of money. Third is sometimes it is glamour. So sometimes, kids decide towards, say, defense for the very fact that, the army uniform is very glamorous, so the defense uniforms are very glamorous. So this is a third angle, glamour. Primarily they guide their efforts towards these three things. Plenty of money wherever they can get it quickly, and a second, name, and third, glamour. So these are the guiding principles, and it very much aligns with the kind of age that they pass through and the kind of brain evolution and maturation that they have at that point in time. So here comes in the role for which we are sitting together and making the parents realize and students also realize that these are long-term decisions, should be taken and should be decided upon with some amount of homework and some amount of guided expertise. That is what we are here for. By themselves, they normally are not equipped to decide upon the career or the profession, and also the efforts, how they should, what they should be doing towards to achieve the career that they look forward to. So I think
So
this
now
is.
that you said that they are very ambitious, there are a lot of glamours and everything. Do you think there is any way that they can know their interests, they could understand their aptitude?
There are two things I look at. The two very important points I look at when I think of career and when I discuss about career to students and parents. First is that as to which course to pursue. Which course to pursue can be tested, assessed through good tests. Many of the good tests we have in the market, some of them are very, very valid and reliable tests developed in our own country by premier institutions, and these are the tests which test the aptitude, or let us say the career traits of a person, of the student, the personality trait of the student, and interest of the student. Combining all of three, it gives out a when as to what the student should look for. But I also equally put emphasis upon the second aspect of career, and that is the personality. So if somebody is bright and intelligent, and if, say, for example, a parent unit forces him to, say, sit for NEET and clear medical, and then, so in all likelihood, the person will be able to get a medical degree, and sometimes with very, very good meritorious levels. But the thing is that whether the personality gels with the profession that I have chosen or not. So I'll bring in a case here so that we understand this clearly. So a girl whose height is, say, for example, it is 5'8" plus, and she's a tall girl and beautifully built, and she has an elan also. So oftentimes it is said that you are a cutout personality for to be a model. You should go for modeling. The girl goes for modeling. She can walk on the ramp beautifully. She has the personality to suit the profession, but to deal with the profession, she has to have a personality of a different type. She has to have different skills to deal with the challenges posed by the profession. So similar wise, we have to look at all the professions. So one is the academic caliber or the skill set required to deal with the profession. Another is the attitude that we have, or the personality that we have towards conducting any profession for that matter. So my major emphasis oftentimes is for the attitude building towards conducting a career. So for example, somebody gets a test done and finds out that he is cut out for, or she is cut out for, a medical profession. Done, fine. She will endeavor and she will organize her efforts, and parents will organize their efforts towards her conducting that medical profession. But she has to work towards it, because medical profession by itself is a very demanding career that way. All careers are demanding. This is something it is in certain sense slightly exceptional in terms of demanding nature of its job. So the child has to gear oneself towards conducting those hard work regimens which are required to become a good doctor. So this other aspect also has to be equally emphasized alongside knowing as to what personality trait or career trait I have to deal with a particular profession.
Yeah, thank you so much for these insights, ma'am. We also have a parent with us today. Since we've heard the teachers and the psychologist, I would like to go on the other side of it. Sakshi, if I ask you, what problems have you faced while selecting the stream of your children?
Okay, thank you, Parul. As Parul introduced me to be a smart parent, but let me tell you that I was not so smart. Thanks to Parul and EDU-Wiki for guiding me. For more than my child, it was me who needed the guidance and hand-holding, which Parul actually did. So, I mean, like as a parent, everybody has been talking about the choices and the things we need to prepare. Even kids are definitely going through these counseling sessions introduced in school. But at the same time, I think the parents also needed, parents are definitely needed to be educated about this thing. Uh, Till now, our area is very small. So understanding the future, understanding the demands of the future is equally important for the parents also. So at the time of my child, I was very confused whether I should, I should ask him to join science or should I ask him to join the humanities. Uh, he was definitely into
So
humanities,
sorry,
but I was
Sakshi, I'm
not convinced.
intervening. Sorry, Sakshi, I'm intervening. So, how many children do you have? And if you could tell us that, how did you make the choice? How did you help them? If you could just please share your experience. Yeah.
Sure, Parul. Thank you so much. So I have an elder daughter who is graduating. She'll be graduating this year. So as the earlier one, you're not aware of many things. It was a very last minute choices after her 12th and last minute rush for going through the college process and deciding about the streams, deciding about the career choices. But while my second one was there, I mean, I was well prepared, as Parul was asking me right now. This question was put up because the first one, I was not at all prepared. I was not even aware of so many things there in the, in the society or in the colleges, in the university, the kind of courses they are offering, the kind of, so much of diversity is there. And half of the parents are not even aware of it. So this is where the counselor and the mentor is needed the most. So while like for my second child, I was much more aware. The awareness was there, which helped me to, along with my child. It was not like only my decision. The decision should be like it should be like a combined effort from the child as well as from the parent, as it is it is a matter of their careers. It is a matter of their life. So it has to be a happy and a consent from both the sides. So this is where EduWiki and Parul as a mentor helped me to decide and to be happy about my son choice. I was very keen that he should pick up science as a subject, not like going for engineering or anything. I think like science students are much more intelligent, but sad, I was proved wrong, and I'm actually very happy to be proved wrong because my son, he was very, very particular to take up humanities, and he topped in his school. He was a topper, and he proved me wrong. Intelligence is not bound by any particular subject or any particular stream. If you are well, what do you say? If you're well prepared and if you're well guided, I think you can. The sky is the limit. Sky is actually the limit. And I believe 11th is the right time after 10th. Making your conscious decision and preparing, because 12th you have boards to prepare and so many things to be think about. So 11th is a time when you can actually put in that effort and think about your choices and what all things needed by you for the choices. So really, really thankful to Parul and EduWiki for helping me and mentoring me along with my son and guiding me. Thank you. That's it,
Thank
Parul.
you so much, Sakshi. Thank you for your feedback. Vanmala ma'am, you have been dealing with so many students for your entire life. Uh, uh, what do you think generally is a good time for a student to choose their stream? Normally, in India, we take the streams during class 10th. But what do you think is a good time for a student to choose their streams?
See, I think that counseling is a continuous process which should go on right from, say, class 7th, 8th standard. But the child himself or herself is so immature that he cannot make a correct decision at that time. So by reaching class 10th, I think his vision is more open and clear. And of course, the guidance of parents, the teacher, and the counselors, of course, is very important, because the student can make a choice after class 10th, but he does not know the difficulty level, the time which he has to spend for the career option he'll be taking forward. Like if a child has taken biology, he feels that he or she can be a doctor, but the child doesn't know that after 12th class he will have to give his 10 more years at least to become a full-fledged doctor. So this guidance should be provided to the child. Is he able to really donate that much time for himself, or he is impatient to get into a job very soon? So here comes the role of counselors. So I feel that very few students are really aware of the pros and cons of a particular career option. Only they know the stream they have to select. So that guidance should be there. The school can have teachers for that, or they can join a counseling uh, system like it's your Wiki, EDU-Wiki. This type of counseling sessions can be held by the school. So that will naturally make their children more aware of to make right decisions in life.
Right.
Because a
Thank you.
wrong decision. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Priyanka, ma'am, with listening to all these things, one question that comes to my mind is, I have seen a lot of people taking the psychometric tests and then they just hand over the reports to the people. And for them, that becomes end of the story. Do you think there is any role that a counselor also plays further to the psychometric test or the aptitude test that people have been taking?
Arun, I think that's a very valid question and something that parents must understand today if they're listening to us. I'll give you a small example in comparison to what the situation that you said. For example, you have some problem with yourself, a medical condition, and you are just sent the prescription on mail. What can you do with that prescription as a person who is not medically oriented? Can you make any sense of that prescription without a person sitting next to you telling you how to go about it, the do's and don'ts? How do you interpret it? How do you understand what more can come out of this information that is on that paper? That is the role of a doctor there, or a nutritionist you would want, or somebody would help you with some kind of a wellness program. The same effect is that of a counselor in the system, because psychometric test today you get online. You really don't have to work very hard as far as that term psychometric is concerned today, but it will make only sense to you when the test is interpreted for you in the right manner. Somebody helps you to and by the way, before I start this, psychometric test is a battery and it needs to be done. It's something that is diagnostic. All right. So it can be like I am a principal of years, so I look at a child and I think that the child has always been winning awards in painting competition. Therefore, the child should become an artist may not be true, because every child is a combination of traits. Now, some traits are obvious because children get opportunities to perform. The other traits, they you can't make them out because children have not got an opportunity to perform them in a school setup, or you're not able to judge them on what they are at home. A complete profile of the child is built when everybody, all stakeholders are put together, that is the school, the teacher, the home environment, and of course the child himself or herself. Now, a psychometric test has to be interpreted in the same line. So, just taking a psychometric test won't help. You will need a one-to-one understanding of, you should sit down across with the counselor to understand what are the options that are available to you, how to interpret this psychometric test, what does it say, what is my plan A, plan B, plan C. Again, why I've always laid stress on multiple planning post your class 10, because a lot of parameters change over 2 years. So what you plan in class 10 may not hold grounds in 2 years to come. So you need to have multiple plans with you, that okay, this is the thing that I want to do, and this is what I look at myself 5 years from now, and working backwards, these are the things that I can opt for, and this is my character matrix, this is my ability matrix, and this is my aptitude matrix. So you have to take everything in view before you kind of move ahead on understanding what you want to be, right? And
Yeah.
one more thing is that when we come to streams, we need to build up this understanding that streams are purely decisions of the schools. CBSC, I know, ICSE, I'm not too sure right now, and I can't be commenting on it. CBSE, for a very long time, has been opening up multiple choices for children. So a child today can have psychology and physics. A child today can opt for humanities with mathematics. It all depends on how the schools are also looking at the professions that are coming up in future. For example, architecture is coming up in a big way. So if architecture you have to see the child, you have to find out if the child wants to go for architecture, you have to put math, physics, and some drawing together. But that does not mean that legal studies is not important. So you get a combination on what the schools will also have to understand how to put these combinations together, how to align themselves with the vision of the country and with the coming professions that are coming up in future. And that information, again, the counselor steps in. Nobody can do it better than the counselor. And for teachers, my due respect, all teachers fall into that category where teachers can guide the children, but then what exact knowledge, up to date knowledge a counselor can bring in, I don't really think a lot of teachers can do justice to that. So somewhere, organization like yours, do bring in professional advice and a professional kind of help to children, wherein the focus is clarified. Okay, this is the roadmap. You see, the roadmap is drawn through that psychometric test.
Yeah. So, yeah, very truly said, ma'am. That means, a role of a counselor is not just counseling, it is like a mentoring. He or she becomes a mentor for the next more time, than just for a few moments, so that you keep answering the questions. Even if you get selecting the stream, even after the stream you may have a lot of roads to go, so it's important to even know where to get to that road and to get to the path. Yeah, so very beautifully you've said that, ma'am. Thank you. Kshama ma'am, you deal with so many students, and especially you have the students of class 11th and 12th. Have you ever suggested the change of subjects to a class 11 student if they are not able to perform academically?
Thank you, Parul. Actually, uh, the stress among the children multiplies when they feel the void of guidance at home and at, you can say, their surroundings. And they feel the need to express to their parents, and parents can't understand this need. Now this increases the gap between a parent and the child, and here comes the role of the mentor, the guide, or a counseling institute like EDU-Wiki. Now yes, the children do come to us for seeking advice, for selecting their streams, and they do come for changing their subjects after submitting their choices. Yes, they do come. And while advising for the selection of the stream, we do advise them to uh, take a psychometric test, which counseling institute like you provide. We also tell them that where is their passion, their interest, obviously for seeking their when they come for seeking the advice. We do have seen the student changing the stream after submitting their choices. Generally it happens, as I told you, because there is a void of guidance. Yes, they do take a particular stream, maybe because of the peer pressure, maybe because it is a status symbol, maybe because their parents want them to uh, take that particular stream. And this has happened in my home as well. My sister's son had taken science, and because the mother wanted him to go to IIT and become an IITian, and he did so. He qualified in one go, and he got, I think, 500 and something all India rank. But then later on, after completing his IIT, he got changed, and then he did his economics on research scholar in IIM Bangalore. So my point is, yes, they do change. Some change soon after, you can say, realizing the fact in class 11. Some change their stream when they enter class 12. And it all depends their choices, and maybe they are not able to perform well. Maybe they are finding it quite boring. Maybe it requires a rote learning, which they are not good at. So it all actually depend on individual to individual to when they come for changing the stream after submitting their choices. Yes, it does happen. Yes, some maybe some are good at singing, and when, as ma'am said, Priyanka ma'am said that CBSE has offered so many varieties, or you can say combinations of subjects. Yes, it was not known earlier to the parents, but now slowly and gradually, as a teachers, as a mentor, as yes, obviously the principals of the school have been guiding the children for getting the subjects of their own. Like if a child is having commerce, he can have music as well if he or she is good in music. So it all depends, and yes, they do change. There are children, those who realize the combination of subject after 11, that can I take this subject because I am good at this. Yes, you can change. So yes, they do change. Some realizes it earlier, some realize it later, but yes, they do change, and they
But
take that particular.
have you observed or noticed a change in their academic performance
Yeah,
after they change their subjects?
yes, they
It
are
has.
much more happy. They are doing very well in that particular stream, and sometimes they top also, top the class, top the state, top the school. It's a boy, as Sakshi said, the sky is the limit. Then yes, they have. They
Yeah,
do.
because she is just validated that she allowed her child to take the subject of his choice, and then he topped. That means he proved
Yeah.
himself.
So that
Yes.
and humanities is, you can say, the most sought after stream these days, as she said,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
children are getting into that stream and they have found it very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Science.
Thank you. Vanmala ma'am, has it? Do you think that as a teacher, we know enough to guide our students? At times it might happen that if I'm teaching maths and one of my students is not doing very well in maths, I might suggest him or her some other subject and say that maths is not your cup of tea. Or so are we ourselves aware of a lot of courses or choices available that we can tell our students and we can guide them in a proper way? Vanmala ma'am.
Frankly and honestly speaking, even if we are very good teachers in our subjects, but we also may not have all the knowledge about the different streams, the different courses, the different job prospects which are nowadays available. So, a teacher alone, I think, is not sufficient to guide a student properly.
Mhm.
So, I think that the role of counselor comes here. And there is no shame, no shy in taking help of the counselors, because a teacher herself is so busy in teaching her subjects and so many other duties of the school she has to follow. And she also has a house to look after. So that dedicated information cannot come alone from her. So I feel that the need of counselors are very important nowadays, and this is the need of our today.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Seema, we have been talking about new subjects, even CBSE coming up with a new basket of subjects. So many choices, so much of information. Do you think counseling is becoming important now than ever before? Or how has the counseling changed now?
Uh, Counseling has not changed in any ways. Opportunities have come. We have more opportunities now. We have more newer modules, newer insights into how we can create curriculums which previously were thought to be juxtaposed, but now with time, as we evolve into many things and the understanding canvas becomes bigger. So regarding education also, the understanding canvas has become bigger in our country, and we are also learning from certain other countries where we have education uh, in its truest form, so to say, that the interests are linked, and then juxtaposed subjects are linked, and a student is allowed to study subjects which in our country previously were thought to be not really mixing well together. So a student can study Sanskrit along with mathematics, and can study music along with mathematics and Sanskrit. So things like that. This is really coming of age to look at education. So opportunities are more. Understanding into education is more. These are better options. But one insight I would like to add here, that although in policy we have these arrangements that a student can, attend certain of the subjects in the science stream and certain of the subjects of humanity, but practically I do not know how this is helping students, because many schools do not give permission to a student to choose the modules offered by CBSE. I may be wrong, but this is what I have as information from students attending and parents attending clinic, that schools do not permit, because it becomes a huge humongous thing to arrange for students choosing modules and creating class arrangements for them and teachers arrangement for them. So schools, I mean, that's a different part of story, but this is what is happening on the ground. That is what I know of. Yes, opportunities have increased, and I think we have come to look at formal education in a much more scientific manner, and that is how it should be looked at, and we are growing there. Uh, uh, and I have firm belief upon the fundamental structure of our education system. We are pretty ready to take on the newer challenges faced by the profession aspect, the scope of professions, and then the training of students, and then creating attitude skills of the students to deal with the multiple challenges. Professions also have kind of, they have loosened their boundaries so much.
Hello.
So here we see that somebody working in a bank no more
Ma'am, I
works
do have a
like a
question.
person in the bank as they were working previously. Now, a person in the bank, a bank manager, has to perform many other types of job, tasks added to his role responsibility. So professions also are evolving. They are gaining more newer aspect of personality, and so are the opportunities, and so are the we as professionals are faced with a situation where we have also to be very open and very flexible with regards to what we tell children, what we tell parents, and how we ourselves prepare to educate them for the roadmap.
Still, we find them to be in a lot of stress all the time, the moment it comes to a career choice, the moment it comes to a college or anything. So, what do you think, in one word, what is the best way to help them reducing their anxiety and stress?
Uh, they must understand that this is life. So it's not about school or college or career. It's every time you take a step further in life. For that step, you know little about, but you are equipped with many things, like upbringing, education, formal education, learning of very many different subjects. So you are equipped, you have skills. The only one thing is the mindset, and that mindset is that as you grow, so you learn. It can never be the other way around. It can't be that you learn and then you grow. So you grow, you move, and you learn. You move and you learn. In that process, believe, I would like to tell this to all the students attending and teachers and parents attending, that in growth, mistakes and upsets are integral part of growth. So do not fear. Do not fear the wrong decisions. Don't try to get the perfect decision before you start your journey.
Yeah,
Equip
but
yourself, work very hard, follow
reduce.
schedules, and then move. You will make mistakes. It's
Hmm.
possible that the decision that you took today, you may have to review it and change it. It's all right. It's not a fault. It's not upset. It's not failure. It is evolvement. So to reduce stress and anxiety, one word, and that is just move with confidence and belief upon oneself, and confidence upon your learning abilities. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that we have to do.
Very rightly said, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, I have one last question for you, Priyanka, ma'am. With this new education policy also coming up, when you have been talking about new basket and everything, a lot of things are going to come now. So, if you could just give me a quick liner on how has the trend changed, and how do you think, what do you advise to the students to cope up with all these kind of new trends and changes?
Parul, the new education policy is going to make things easier and more open for children. So they needn't feel apprehensive or anxious about anything. It does not depart from a model where children are going to be stressed out. In fact, if you're able to implement the new education policy in the way that it has been formulated, it will bring a lot of opportunities to children, and there's going to be a lot of hand holding for children. There's going to be a lot of understanding with the schools, where we're bringing in a lot of internships, we're bringing in trainings, we're bringing in skill-based subjects.
Education based, yeah. Hmm.
And so education is going to become more forward-looking. It is going to become more skill-based, and the pressure of performance is going to go. And another thing, that the schools will now be empowered to bridge the gap that was always there between a school and an industry. So we are going to bring in certain base courses there. You're looking at courses in training in engineering, or you're coming in coding, you're coming with AI, you're coming in with so many other things. Where now the schools will have the options to help children intern with industry and on job. So
Yeah.
this is going to bring in a lot of change in how the exposure is going to be.
Yeah.
And then the opening of the streams, that across children will be able to choose. If the education is going to become more liberal, it's going to become, the major and the minors, the combinations will be more child oriented. It is not threatening at all. It's much, much progressive. And I'm so hoping that, this kind of change which they plan is implemented in the correct way and in the same sense as it so far looks like.
Yeah, so it's more going to be a skill-based economy, so we need to be more passionate about jobs.
It's
Yes.
absolutely forward looking. It's going to prepare children for tomorrow. So
Yeah.
the skill part, which was always missing, and you see, a lot we have always contested that the children lie low on employability skills. They
Right.
have the content, they have the confidence, but they don't have the employability skills. So if you go backwards onto those skills, whatever changes are being brought in are very, very welcome, I would say.
That's right. So that is also one of the parts of the counselor to tell them that how do you fill your gaps. Yeah. Thank you
One
so
more role, one more role that the council will have to do is also to train teachers to understand what's happening outside in the world so that they can bring in those real life experiences inside the classroom.
inside the classrooms.
Don't
Absolutely.
just the children alone. You will have to do a lot with the normal teachers and their profiles also.
Yeah, yeah. Even everybody has to get into the role of mentorship now. Yes, right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I thank all my panelists. In fact, based on all the discussions from each one of you, it is very clear that the early career counseling is important. We need somebody to handhold us. We need a mentors for ourselves throughout the journey. It's not only about a class 10th or an 11th, it's about throughout, be it we are in a school or in a college, you need mentors. And, I'm so glad to say that our counselors at EDU-Wiki are not just stopping explaining the reports. They do not stop at just telling you about what your report says. They are so well prepared that they go to the extent of suggesting the courses, how to get to that course. They have all details updated all the time with them on the colleges, admissions, what kind of tests are to be prepared to get to clear the entrance exams. Very timely and important information, so that we see a lot of students, they're missing out opportunity just because they did not know the details in time, they did not have timely information. So we go to all extent so that the students are able to grab all the opportunities as per their aptitude and the potential. So I'm sure all the students and parents would agree to the importance of this role of career counseling, seeking professional advice, because that's the need of an hour. We all have to accept that we may be perfect in our streams, but when it comes to suggesting careers to our students, we are not, because that's not our forte. That's not our file. We get too much busy in our own profiles. So we would be very happy to give all advices to all the students, parents, everybody, and so that their decisions are made in the right direction. I once again thank all the panelists. I also express my thank you to Mr. Avinash Sharma. He's the CEO of EDU-Wiki, Dr. Tyagi, Ankit Tandon. They have long hours to put for this success of this seminar. Ms. Aina Hirsch for making this webinar a success. I thank you so much for your time. And I announce my next webinar, which is on 5th of February. So I welcome everybody. I would want each one of you to keep attending our series of webinars so that we all learn from each other. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you, Parul. Thank
Parul, it was a pleasure being here. All the best to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making me a part of this panelist.
Thank you. It's our pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you, Parul. Thanks a lot. It was really great.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, Parul, and it was nice. It was a learning experience, and thank you so much.